Hello and welcome to my Yarnatopia. My name is Kim, and special shout out to anyone who is watching one of my videos for the first time. Thank you so much for coming over to talk yarn with me, and to all my returning viewers, thank you so much. I truly appreciate your support. And today we're going to be looking at all the things that have been holding my attention this week. I have several finished objects to show you. This is going to be kind of like Finish It Friday and just what I've been working on wrapped into one video, because I have had some allergy issues you may be able to see on my face, and I have just not had time to sit down and record taking care of my mother-in-law, but I really want to show you some of these projects, so I hope you stick around to see what they look like. So I have been trying to reflect on the fall and autumn season and get into those cozy vibes as much as possible. However, it has been very hard here in Alabama because we went from that crisp morning fall-esque air right back to summer and humidity. And I think that's what's causing me to have a lot of this flare up with some chronic eczema and just allergy issues in general. So I've been really trying to work through that. But I have been inspired by the leaf change. I did go on a ride in the woods the other day on the Can-Am, and I did record a little footage for you. I'll try to stick some of that at the end if this is not very long, because I think you may enjoy it. It's really pretty, and I hope to share more of our property with you as the seasonal change takes place. But today we have a lot of knitting and crocheting to go through. I do have two finished objects. One is actually my Finish It Friday project, and the other one is a whip that I managed to get done, and I'm so excited because it is absolutely stunning and I love it. I cannot wait to wear it, maybe wear it even Sunday at church. So we shall see. But let's go ahead and dive into my works in progress, and it seems fitting that we start with my autumn socks. So these socks have been a long-standing work in progress, and that is okay. I am not much of a sock knitter, which I've mentioned before. These are Step 6 by Amsterdam. They are a 75% superwash wool and 25% polyamide. This is a older yarn that I have. It's a color number 11, which is autumn. So this comes in a 410 yards with 215 grams, and I am using DPNs, a size 2. These are the Knit Pro Zing. I like them. I don't love them. They have a decent point on them, but it's not the most amazing sharpest DPN ever. That would be my Haya Sharps, but I only have those in a size 1. But I am enjoying these, and the last time you saw these, I had just completed the heel on this one, and you can see where I put my progress keeper. So I did all of this knitting, and then on the main one that I've been working on first, you can see where I had the progress keeper there. That is a Simply Serving progress keeper. It's a piece of toast, eggs, and bacon. How cute. And I did all of this knitting, and I've started my ribbing. I think I'm like 2 rows in, but all of this I did at the ball game last Friday. And even though it was sprinkling and I did get a little bit rained on, it was still fun to be in a ball game in the fall and knitting on some cozy socks that I will enjoy hopefully this winter. I know I'm not really a sock person, but these are going to be very hard wearing because of the yarn. It's just known to be a really good hard wearing yarn. And they're going to be really warm and cozy, especially being that DK weight size. And I'm probably going to keep them out here in case my toes get cold. Although this year I do have the mini split, and last year I only had the little fireplace for heating. And I like to froze making videos, but it was so much fun, and it was so exciting being out here and doing Vlogmas with you all, and I cannot wait to do that again come the time and the season. And I will be doing Vlogtober, and I'll be trying to put out a weekly video, really just kind of spreading the fall love, so I hope you stick around for that. But yeah, I like these. You can see the yarn where it is. The colors is just really pretty. And I just really love how they are working up. They're not going to be identical at all. I did not purposely start the yarn in any certain place. they're kind of just off just a little bit, and so that makes me happy. So my next work in progress is my Autumn Leaves blanket. I'm donating it to Boggy Creek, so my goal is to get at least a 40/40. I put a squirrel stitch marker that I made right there to show you where I was last. So I've done all of this, and I am currently at about 35 inches, and that squirrel is actually one of the stitch markers that I made that I am sending out to the latest giveaway, where I had drawn a couple of people to win some stitch markers from me, and that is one of the ones that they're getting, a cute little glass squirrel. How adorable is that guy? So for this project, I am using the James Brett Marble Chunky. This is I think a bulky weight yarn. It is 100% acrylic. The yarn comes in 341 yards for 200 grams, and you may know that I have a plethora of this if you've seen any of my other videos, because this is what I kept my mother-in-law supplied with for many years during the beginning of her journey through Alzheimer's and dementia. And all of her leftovers I've just accumulated, and I've been trying to find projects to use with them, and I thought this would be a great project to do that, because it is going to Boggy Creek Camp. Now, Boggy Creek Camp, if you are new to my videos, again, welcome. If you're enjoying your time here, please hit that thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing if you haven't already, because I do have other giveaways coming up. But Boggy Creek is a camp in Florida that is set up for children with diseases and sicknesses, and the camp counselors are nurses and doctors who volunteer their time so these children can have a camp experience as well, which is very special because I love kids and I love doing things with them. So I really thought this would be a great use of some of this leftover yarn, because this got her through so many hard days of her disease, and I just think it's a fitting full circle for the leftovers to bring joy to someone else during their journey with their disease. The James Brett Marble Chunkies yarn that I am using is yarn number 33, which is the greens. And then this darker blue that I'm using right here is MC21. This lighter blue is MC10, and I am using a J hook, which is a 6mm for this project, and I am enjoying it. But speaking of Mammal and yarn, let me go grab a photo that I've got to show you. So part of Mammal's therapy, a few years ago, I made her a memory book. This is just a photo album that I have some pictures, just close-ups, and only one subject in the photo of her family members. And under those photos, it has 1 to 3 sentences about who the person is and how they are related to her. She does enjoy flipping through this, but I think it has helped her a little bit, because sometimes when people who have dementia or Alzheimer's is on the phone with someone, they have a hard time of picturing of who they're talking to. And when I'm over there, I'll just open it up to that page to whoever she's talking to, and she's able to make those connections. But her cognitive therapist suggested that I also make her a memory box. And in this box, she said that I should put photos in there of maybe different holidays, different vacations that Mama went on during her time, and also things that she can physically touch and smell. So if she had a favorite perfume, put the perfume bottle in there, or maybe a favorite ring or piece of jewelry, put that in there. So she has physical objects and also objects that will have other sensory connections, and then she can go through that box as well, and hopefully that will help start some dialogue and get her brain kind of functioning a little bit better and having some memories of the past. So I started going through their photos to do just that this past week in between doing all the other things, and lo and behold, I found this adorable picture. So my husband thinks this was sometime 86 through 88, so he would have been about 6 or 7 years old, because we are almost mid-40. He's a little bit older than I am by a couple of months. But this is his cat, Blinky. And then this is his dog, Cookie. But I was going through these photos and I saw these. I'm like, oh, those are cute pets. But then it stuck out to me. That is a basket of yarn. And so the whole time that I've known my mother-in-law, prior to her diagnosis, I've never seen her knit or crochet. And if you are new to my channel, she is why I got into knitting and crochet, to help her through some of the bad days. I had read, I think it was the Mayo Clinic did a study on different hobbies such as fiber arts and how it actually can help slow down the brain's degrading processes. And I knew she knew how to knit and crochet because she grew up in Austria during the war and it was a part of her life. It was how they had clothes for winter, and so it was embedded in her muscle memory and her long-term memory. And so that's what I started, but I've never seen her touch yarn prior to that in 2013. And I started dating her son in 2004. And we got married a couple years later. Going through, lo and behold, a basket of yarn. And honestly, it just made me giggle. And I had to bring this picture home because that's pretty special to me. And I wanted to share that with you. Now on to finished objects. And the first one we're going to talk about is my big finished object. And that is because it is almost 940 yards of a sport weight yarn coming in at 60 inches wide and 35.5 inches deep. That is my Bag O' Day Composed of Madness shawl. Y'all, it is so pretty. I am so in love with this shawl and I'm so proud of myself for getting this thing done because I'm not the strongest crocheter and there was a lot of stitches and things that I've never done before, and it pushed me to really learn something new. And I am super thankful for Crystal for doing that because I love to push myself and I love to try new things. And parts of this shawl that I thought I was not gonna like, I actually really wind up loving, such as these little things here. I don't know what that's called. Down below something, but I like them. I do love a good bobble and I love the use of them here. The only thing I did different than what the pattern called for, that was when we got down here to the very end. I think originally the shawl stopped right about after the first blue line for me of these fan stitches. So this section and this section, I just kept going and I just kind of modified it to stay in pattern to use more of my yarn. This is the only yarn I have left over. I had to do a little bit of color control. I really wanted to use the darker blue to do that final picot border, and I was scared that I would not have enough yarn, so I just kept it with the blue marled, but I think it still looks really, really pretty. This tip, oh my goodness, so pretty. Love that, love that. And I did pin every one of my picot when I block this. So what I do when I block an item, if it's acrylic, I don't really block it. I might steam block it, but you have to be very careful because you're melting the plastic basically, and you can ruin your project. Ask me how I know. But for any kind of cotton or cotton blend or natural fibers, I do the same exact blocking process, even for wools. And that is, I have this little purple bin or I have this big blue bin and I fill them with warm water and then I put in my wash. I always use Eucalyptus or Tough Woolens wool wash because they're gentle on my skin, but they do have a little fragrance to them and they help protect the natural lanolin and wool to keep it lovely and luxurious longer. And then I put my item in there and I just shove it down and I just let it soak. And honestly, I typically forget about it and it gets cold. So I take it out of the water and I don't wring it. I just kind of squeeze out the excess water a couple of times doing that process because you do not want to have something with warm water in it and then do agitation. If it is a wool, that's how you're going to felt it, and you do not want to do that to your finished objects unless you're doing it on purpose and making a felted finished object. But for every day, you're probably not going to want to felt your knits or your crochets. So once I get the excess water out, I have a towel on the floor. I put it on the towel on the floor. I roll it up and I do soft river dancing on it to get out the rest of the excess water. Then I take it over to my blocking mats. Mine are actually from Knitter's Pride. And then I start always, if it's a shawl, pinning it at the very top in the center. And then I work my way out on the sides and then I go all the way down to the center, pulling that middle stitch as far as I can and pinning that picot. Then I work one side and then the other. I let it dry completely, take all the pins out, and then I'm ready to snip my ends. I never snip my ends until it gets completely dried. And the reason is because once you start blocking and stretching the yarns, you've already snipped your end, and you start pulling that yarn and stretching it, it's going to pop out. And then what if you didn't leave enough to like sew it in again? So if you just leave them and then pull it and stretch it and let it block and dry, you know the yarn's never going to get bigger than that ever down the road. So you can snip those ends with confidence, and then they're out of sight and out of mind. But I just love this so much. And this is part of that Hirschner's cake where they had the 2 for $15. They use the same mill as Hobie, and this looks identical to the Hobie summer twister yarn called Coastline. And so that is what I'm calling mine, the Coastline shawl. And I love it. I'm so happy I got done with it because it is still warm here, and I think it's going to be a great shawl to wear in the spring and summer, and I'm probably going to wear it to church tomorrow. But like, look how gorgeous that is with the way the color transitions. It is absolutely stunning, and I love it so much. But let me go ahead and get my next finished object for you ready, and that is my little peacock for Finish It Friday. Now for Finish It Friday. So if you are new, you may not know what that is, and that is a segment that Yarn Joy podcast has on their YouTube channel. I saw it, I fell in love with it, and I joined in. And every Friday, Terry picks a little random thing out of a plastic bowl, and that's what she works on that week, and then she shows it to all y'all on Friday. And so I've been doing that as well, and I've really enjoyed it. So last week we did choose peacocks. She had a kit and I did not have a kit, but I did have this Simply Crochet issue number 69. And in this issue, lo and behold, was a peacock, and it's pretty cute. So here is the peacock in the book, and that's what I decided to make. So for this, I did use some Red Heart Super Saver with Love. I guess it's not Super Saver. I guess it's just Red Heart with Love. And the colorway is called Peacock. And then for the yellow and the turquoise, I used some Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. It is 100% acrylic, and it is a 4-weight yarn. And for this, I did use a G-hook, which is a 4mm. So I did complete mine, but I was unable to record its own little Finish It Friday video, so that is why I'm just putting it in here and showing it to you now. I did do a modification on the feet of mine because the original one had you just do a line of chains and slip stitches, but its feet looked too skinny. Like it had literally bird legs, and I didn't want mine to have bird legs. I wanted to have muscular legs. I do wish I had put pipe cleaners in there so he can actually stand up, but I didn't think to do that, but it's fine. I did use 85 yards total with all of the colors, and I think the colors are really pretty together. I did do my tail differently too. So it wanted you to make all these pieces individually and then sew them on. All 9 of these pieces individually and sew them on. I was not doing that. So what I did is I made the pieces, but then I started a crochet chain and I did 2 stitches, and then I picked up the stitches and added this one on. Then I did a chain, 3 stitches, added this one on, a chain, added this one on, and then I went back and on the top row added these on. So basically the tail is like this whole separate piece that I sewed on the body, and I think it gives it more heft or durability, and I kind of like how it looks a little bit better. These little pieces here are driving me crazy. I thought about steaming them because they keep on a curl. I do like how these little things curl, but this part right here, I don't know what's going on there. I like the little part on top of its head. How cute is that? And I did use some black safety eyes. This is just for me, so I'm not worried about the eyes popping off. It's just going to sit on a shelf, but I think he is super cute. And so that is my peacock. And I did have a viewer message me and send me a picture of their peacock, and I'm going to show it right here. And I think it is super cute, and I'm so happy that they joined me along in making the peacock, because anytime the community and y'all get involved, it just really makes my heart sing. So this week, Terry chose a standing whip, which is awesome because I want to talk about a whip that I want to work on in coming up projects. So for my Finish It Friday, what I want to do for my whip is finish some mittens. So these are the Schools in Session mittens is what I'm calling them. It's a pattern by Helen Stewart and it's called the Hearten Mitts. I'm using Desert Vista Dye Works yarn in the Schools in Session colorway. It is a self-striping yarn and it is hand dyed. I'm knitting these on a US 1 DPN and I've actually almost completed these. So this is Desert Vista Dye Works Schools in Session. I had some yarn run off of the color and it made me mad, and then I realized I made a mistake and I had to drop down 30 something stitches to fix them, which I was able to do without problem. That's not a big deal. But you can see where I have some of the yarn run off here, and that is because when I was making these, I had used some of my dermatitis cream on my hands and I was not wearing gloves and it caused the colors to fade. But I really want these done. And the more I got into the skein, I realized maybe it was the way the yarn was intended to be anyways. So maybe I didn't cause it after all. But I love the pattern that I'm doing on these. And I'm at the point on this one where I just need to separate for my thumb gusset and then start knitting the hand. So once I realize where I am in the pattern, and I'll figure that out as I work on them, it will be pretty easy. I've already started splitting for the thumb gusset, actually. Look at that. Yay. So yeah, I'm actually further than I thought on this one. So I just really need to finish doing that thumb gusset, start on the hand part here, and then really do the ribbing. I may just leave them thumbless. I may not pick up the stitches and add a thumb. I don't know. Probably not, because I just want them off my hooks and needles. I'm trying to get as much done as possible before the new year. And this one I have barely started the thumb gusset as well. So that is going to be my project that I will be working on. Will I get these done in a week? Probably not. I'm going to be honest. I'm realistic. But I do want to work on this long-standing whip and get as much done as possible. My other plans for the week are to finish my Boggy Creek blanket as much as possible. That would be something I would love to do. I would really kind of like to work on my Ever Essence wrap. This was a knit along from the Knitting Turnpike and Judy's Crochet Creations, I think. I will tag them down below. They started this in the spring. I chose the knit version shawl and I was using some scrappy yarns. So this may be the Scrappy Sunday project that I try to focus on for a while till I can get a lot of headway done on this thing. So these are the colors. This one right here is a Three Irish Girls. These two are Madeline-tosh, and this darker purple is, I think, a Cascade Heritage sock yarn, I'm pretty sure. I'm knitting these on my Addict lace, and I think these might be a US 4, but this is what I have so far. I apparently am right in the middle of a row, go figure, so it's kind of hard to show you, but I'm doing a little stripy version of the yarns for now, and I do have my Hello Kitty needle stoppers on there. They're so cute. Love them. And this is Living in a Bag from Bags by Awesome Greenie, who's one of my favorite bag makers. It has the cute balloons on there, but I will be working on that next maybe. I may try to finish my blanket tomorrow though. I forgot to show you this bag. So this is by a bag maker. I don't think they're making bags anymore, but the company was called Bling Your String. And I got several for bags. They're just a drawstring bag, but I love them just as much. What else do I have planned? I also have a new project that I want to start. I think I talked about this in my last Finish It Friday video, or a video I put up, and that is a viewer purchased a pattern off my wish list for me, and that is Monica. And I think I've met Monica through either Instagram or Ravelry, but we've known each other through yarn for quite some time, and she ever so kindly gifted me this pattern. This is the Moon Goddess Crescent Shawl by Underground Crafter. It uses about, where did I have the notes? 620 yards of a DK weight yarn. I'm considering using some of this Deluxe Universal Yarns DK. I have these colors. They're very fall, and I think they would make a really pretty moon goddess shawl, because it could be my fall moon goddess shawl. So I can do the main body in the gray and then just use the brown and the yellow to do some accent, maybe around where it has like a little bit of a lace detail. You can kind of see right there. And then maybe do like another picot border with the dark brown or that yellow. I think that'll look really pretty. So that's something that I have planned for the future. And I also have a total of 1,136 yards of that yarn. So I have plenty of yarn, and I can actually make it bigger if I want to, which is probably what I want to do. Although that is a super wash yarn. So this Deluxe DK is super wash. Super wash yarns grow like crazy when you wet them. So you have to plan for that in your knitting and crochet. I could do a little swatch of this maybe and show you how that looks. We'll see if I feel like doing that. I don't know. But I am excited about that. And then after I get done with my Boggy Creek, I really want to focus on that poncho, and that is using that gorgeous yarn from Lands de Nord, and it's a Knitting Fever yarn. It's the green, and it has the blurps of happiness of color. I cannot wait to get back into that. I just really wanted to get this Boggy Creek blanket done and sent off for that donation drive, because it was just something that I felt that I needed to do. What else? I also need to ship off my hats to K&K Crochet, who is Bumblebee Mountain Outreach. I'm probably just going to go to the post office all of the time, because I don't live very close to the post office. That is about all of that. I do have a small giveaway coming up, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel to ensure that you do not miss that announcement. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. That is what lets YouTube know that you enjoyed the video, and it pushes it out to more people. And don't forget to let me know in the comments what you are working on. I would love to hear about it. And until then, I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy fall crafting and all the fall cozy vibes, loves, hugs to you. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Accidentally just ran into a spider web. So this is the spider. We just ran into his web on accident. This is a spiny orb weaver. They are everywhere here. That is the front. You can see its little head right here and its little front legs. But they have a harder shell that has these dots on it. But they also have these spikes. You can see them right there. There's 2 in the back, and there's usually 2 on each side. Just gonna let this one ride with us because he may build a new web where we park the Can-Am. Spider friend got on me, and so we had to stop abruptly, and then he fell off, I think. So I like spiders. I just don't like them on me. They kind of freak me out when they get on me, especially those guys.